Please welcome Dr. Manon Bollinger.
So, because it's usually a bit more academic, I'm going to stick my notes here and see if I can get away without them. So, and I don't know how you get rid of the lights. I guess you have to stand here. So, what you need to know about me, or what is interesting, is that I've worn both hats. That of a doctor and also that of a patient. And I've helped and trained thousands of people on this path. I'm the CEO of Bowen College and Cornerstone Health Center, and I have a blessed life. I have a wonderful family. I live, like you guys, in an incredible place in the world. I love to travel, I love to eat, I like to discover new foods and wine, and the word bored is just not part of my vocabulary. But I can tell you that had I not gone down my own healing path, I simply wouldn't be here. So let me take you back with me. Imagine sitting, heartbroken, feeling like a wilted rose that never had a chance to bloom. So frail I couldn't even hold myself up on my 2 feet, and my heart was hollow and empty, just like the sensation in my legs. I had MS. But that's not all. When I got around that corner, I found myself lying in the oncology ward, holding on to my uterus that housed my 3 children, while I negotiated my right to do something other than remove my uterus. So what I want to share with you is that at this moment, I am so here. I am so blessed and so grateful to be able to share this message with all of you, because anyone in this audience can find themselves in the same place, asking themselves the same questions and wondering what they should do with their life. And some of you may relate to this, but I knew this was not my time. And what's not your time, you need to find solutions. Those of you who haven't been here and who don't really realize the amount of agency you have in your own destiny about your own health outcomes, I highly recommend you read my book, What Patients Don't Say If Doctors Don't Ask, because it will be awakening. And what I have realized is that for me, a diagnosis is like a mask. And all we need to do is take off that mask and look what's going on inside. Because a mask, it's just a story. It's another point of view. But it's not your story. It's not the symptoms in you that are telling you their own message. It's just another perspective. In my over 20 years of experience, I've come to realize that patients know why they got sick. They know how they got there. And if given the opportunity, they actually know how to get out of their predicament. And I'm not talking about, Google, Dr. Google, or the latest news on, the latest fad that Dr. Google says. I'm talking about Dr. Oogle, the mirror that looks back at you and says, "You're so fat, you're so short, you're so old, you're so stupid." That's the mirror I'm talking about. So when you look in your mirror, does it say to you, "You are so beautiful, you are so You are you. And ask yourself, when's the last time you were giving yourself a hug just because? Or that you celebrated just because? And you may be thinking to yourself, well, what does this have to do with disease or syndrome X, Y, Z? But let me remind you how little we actually know about health and the causes of diseases. And I want to share with you maybe one of the most common syndromes, which is high blood pressure, hypertension. And we've been told that 95% of cases of hypertension are what's called idiopathic, which means of unknown origin. I didn't say idiot-proof, mind you. And unknown because the complexity of the human body doesn't really lend itself to a handful of pills. So bear with me when I look more closely at this syndrome. We're told 95% of cases are idiopathic, yet according to the Lancet, 85% cases of hypertension have a body mass index over 25, and obesity increases the risk of hypertension 5-fold, and 2/3 of cases of it are attributed to being overweight. So, do we know or don't we know? Right, 95% unknown causes of hypertension correlate to a factor of 85% obesity. Well, that's easy. What causes obesity? Now that's complicated. Obesity's causes are multifactorial. That means we, as human beings, are affected by many things. Are you starting to see my point? We are exposed to internal stress, external stress, environmental stress, physical stress, emotional stress, genetic stress, all kinds of stresses, and that's just the beginning. And we know that stress is the culprit behind most diseases, even the genetic ones, because basically it triggers the beginning of the onset of the genetic manifestation. And stress causes diseases, syndromes, illnesses. It affects our immune system. It breaks us down. We can't resist. We can't fight because we're not immune to life as we see it. Because we are humans and we live in a context, and that context is simply not a test tube. And because we are humans, we need to look at our health a whole other way and not focus our entire attention on disease management. Our conventional medical model is based basically on finding biological and biochemical solutions to prevent the body from expressing its disease. So we play with calcium channel blockers, we give diuretics, we chemically decrease cholesterol without caring at all what happens to our CoQ10, which is our natural antioxidant. We basically are at war with our body. And why do I suspect that? It's because in the United States, every 20 seconds somebody dies from a heart attack. And here in Canada, it's every 10 minutes a person dies from a stroke. And that's just because we're fewer people. But let's not blame the doctors. Are you actually any different? Are you at war with your own body? Your own life? And I ask this of you because I ask this of myself. I ended up giving myself permission to inquire, to take an inventory on all my beliefs, an audit on my thoughts, a reframe of my pain. Until I discovered I wasn't afraid of dying, I was afraid of living. I was afraid of expressing, of connecting, of being me. I had 2 severe diseases, MS and stage 4 cancer. I don't. And that was quite a while ago. Both caused by stress and resolved by listening to my body. So I ask you, when you go down that path or down the diagnostic route and enter the world of disease management, the pills that are intended to slow down and prevent and delay your death, have you ever asked yourself about your life? Because how we live is how we heal. And to end, I want to share with you a very short poem that I wrote, which is on the screen shortly.
Say you gotta love this body, aches and pains and all, cause it's trying to tell me something. Gotta listen. Symptoms are symbols. I need to change my relationship to sugar. It's not heaping tablespoons of love, it's white dirt. Maybe pop is not all it's cracked up to be, churning blubber into belly jelly. Got no structure, no backbone, can't say no for the life of me. That's not my 4-letter word. Maybe that's a story from before I learned to inquire, run an audit on my thoughts and beliefs, a reframe on my pain, freeing all of you. I blame the shame, the energy drain, the hate, the divide, the ego, the pride, the runaway bride. Divorced from my body, I crave your touch to unleash and unwind fugitive memories from cellular stores. Connect me to the divine, sublime, beautiful me that holds the power to heal now.